The owner sold me his business for $0 down using seller financing. Then he tried to steal it back. The sheriff was standing in the lobby of my gym. He was holding a writ of possession. Behind him stood Jerry, the previous owner, smiling like a Cheshire cat. "You missed a payment, kid," Jerry sneered. "According to our seller financing agreement, if you miss one payment by more than 24 hours, the business reverts back to me. Pack your bags, I'm taking my gym back." Jerry thought he had pulled off the perfect scam. He sold me a failing business with zero money down, waited for me to renovate it and double the membership, and then manipulated the bank accounts so my automatic payment would bounce. He wanted to steal my hard work. He thought I was just a naive personal trainer who didn't understand finance. But Jerry forgot one thing. Before I signed the deal, I spent 3 nights doing a forensic analysis of his financial statements. I didn't miss the payment because I was broke. I withheld the payment because I found the ghost members. Jerry had been cooking the books for 5 years, and by trying to seize the business today, he just walked into a federal fraud trap that I set for him a week ago. He wanted his gym back. He was about to trade his gym for a prison cell. Here is the story of how I bought a $1 million business with no money down and how I used financial statement analysis to destroy a fraudster.
My name is Ryan. I've been a personal trainer for 10 years. I know how to build muscle, but I always wanted to build wealth. I spent my nights listening to podcasts about acquisitions and leveraged buyouts. I learned a concept called Seller Carryback Financing. This is when the owner of a business acts as the bank. Instead of you paying them cash up front, you pay them monthly from the profits of the business itself. It's the holy grail of investing, buying assets with zero money down. I found my target, Ironclad Fitness. It was an old-school gym in a prime location, but it was dying. The equipment was rusty, the carpets smelled like mold, and the owner, Jerry, was a 60-year-old man who spent more time at the horse track than at the front desk. I approached Jerry on a Tuesday morning. The gym was empty. "Jerry," I said, "I want to buy the place." Jerry laughed. "Kid, this place is worth $2 million. Do you have $2 million? "No," I said, "but I know you haven't made a profit in 3 years. I know you are tired, and I know the bank won't lend anyone money to buy a dying gym." I laid out my offer. "I will pay you $2.5 million, above market price, but I pay you over 10 years. I give you $20,000 a month. You retire today. You sit on the beach and collect checks. If I miss a single payment, you take the gym back and keep everything." Jerry's eyes lit up. He saw a retirement plan. He saw a sucker who was willing to overpay for a sinking ship. "You really think you can make 20 grand a month profit here?" Jerry asked skeptically. "That's my problem, not yours," I said. He signed the deal. It was a classic Seller Carryback Note. I took over the operations with $0 down payment. But as soon as I got the keys, I realized why Jerry was so eager to sell. The membership list he gave me had 1,000 names on it, but when I ran the credit cards for the monthly dues, half of them declined. I dug into the CRM software. I looked at the check-in logs. 500 of these members hadn't visited the gym in 5 years. Some of them were dead. Jerry had been manually overriding the system to make it look like these members were active, so his revenue numbers looked good on paper. He had inflated the value of the business to trick me into signing a debt note I could never pay off. He set me up to fail. He knew I couldn't make the $20,000 monthly payment with the real member base. He planned to let me renovate the place with my own money, default on the loan, and then swoop in to reclaim the improved asset. It was a predatory lending trap. But I didn't panic. I remembered the podcast episode about financial statement analysis. I decided to audit the books myself.
I stopped cleaning the gym. I locked myself in the back office with boxes of receipts from the last 5 years. I looked at the income statement. P&L. Jerry claimed $50,000 a month in revenue, but when I looked at the bank deposit slips, only $25,000 was actually hitting the bank. Where was the other $25,000 coming from? According to his books, it was cash payments. In a gym? In 2024? Nobody pays gym memberships in cash anymore. I dug deeper. I found a pattern. Every month, on the 25th, there was a deposit entry for exactly $5,000, labeled personal training revenue. I checked the training schedule. There were no trainers. Jerry didn't train anyone. He was sitting in his office eating donuts. This is called cooking the books. He was fabricating revenue to make the business look profitable so he could sell it. This is a specific type of fraud called fraud in the inducement. It means he tricked me into signing the contract based on false data. Normally, I would sue him, but a lawsuit takes years, and Jerry had the default clause in our contract. If I missed a payment, he could seize the gym instantly without going to court. He would take it back before a judge even looked at my evidence. I needed to trap him. I decided to play his game. I paid the first month's payment of $20,000 using my own savings. I wanted him to feel safe. I wanted him to think I was struggling but managing. I called him. "Hey, Jerry, business is tough. A lot of members are quitting, but I made the payment." "Good boy," Jerry said. "Keep grinding." Meanwhile, I went to the bank, not to deposit money, but to get affidavits. I collected statements proving that the cash deposits Jerry claimed never existed. Then I called the IRS tip line. Cooking books isn't just lying to a buyer, it's lying to the tax man. Or in Jerry's case, it was the opposite. He was inflating income to sell the business, which means he likely paid taxes on fake money. Or more likely, he kept two sets of books, one for the IRS showing low income and one for me showing high income. I pulled his tax returns from the filing cabinet he left behind. Tax return revenue? $300,000. Sales brochure revenue? $600,000. Bingo! He told the government he was poor. He told me he was rich. I had him on tax fraud and securities fraud. But I needed him to show his hand. I needed him to try to foreclose on me. So on the second month, I did something risky. I didn't pay him. The payment was due on the first. On the second, Jerry was at my door with the sheriff. "Time's up, Ryan," Jerry shouted, waving the contract. "Default. Get out." He thought he was evicting me. He didn't know he was walking into a crime scene investigation.
The sheriff looked at me, then at the eviction notice in Jerry's hand. "Sir," the officer said to me, "he has a valid default notice. You need to vacate the premises." Jerry was grinning. "Hand over the keys, kid. You tried, you failed. That's business." I didn't move. Instead, I reached behind the reception desk and pulled out a manila folder. "Officer," I said calmly, "before you execute that order, you need to see this." I handed the officer a document stamped by the Superior Court judge that morning. It was a temporary restraining order, TRO, against the foreclosure. I filed an emergency motion at 8 a.m. alleging fraud in the inducement and criminal misrepresentation. The judge granted a stay of execution until the hearing next week. The sheriff looked at the stamped seal. He looked at Jerry. "This looks valid, sir. I can't evict him if there's an active court stay. This is now a civil matter to be settled by a judge." Jerry's smile vanished. "What fraud? He's lying. He just doesn't have the money." "I have the money, Jerry," I said, opening the folder to show a bank statement with $20,000 sitting in it. "I'm just not giving it to a criminal." "Criminal?" Jerry shouted. "I'll sue you for slander." "It's not slander if it's true," I said. "Officer, while you were here, you might want to see the two sets of tax returns I found in the filing cabinet. Exhibit A shows Jerry claiming he made $600,000 last year to sell me the business. Exhibit B shows him telling the IRS he only made $300,000. I held up the papers. "This is federal tax evasion. And since he used the U.S. mail to send me the fraudulent financial statements, it is also mail fraud. The sheriff's demeanor changed instantly. He wasn't looking at me anymore. He was looking at Jerry. "Is this true, sir?" the sheriff asked. Jerry started sweating. He snatched the papers from my hand. This is a misunderstanding. My accountant handles this." "The sheriff can't arrest you for tax fraud today, Jerry, but the FBI can, and I already sent copies of these to the IRS whistleblower office." Jerry looked like he was going to throw up. The sheriff tipped his hat. "I'm leaving. You two sort this out in court. But if I were you, sir," he pointed at Jerry, "I'd call a lawyer." The sheriff walked out. Now it was just me and Jerry in the empty gym.
Jerry collapsed onto a weight bench. The arrogance was gone. He looked like a tired old man who realized his gamble had failed. "You reported me?" he whispered. "To the IRS? Do you know what they will do to me? They will take my house. They will take my pension." "You tried to take my livelihood, Jerry," I said coldly. "You sold me a lemon. You inflated the numbers. You wanted me to fail so you could keep my renovation money." I can fix this," Jerry stammered. "I'll give you a discount on the monthly payments. Let's say $15,000 a month?" I laughed. "We are way past discounts, Jerry. The contract is void because it was based on fraud. I can sue you for damages. I can sue you for the $50,000 I spent on renovations. And I can testify against you in federal tax court." Jerry looked at me with pleading eyes. "What do you want, Ryan? Just tell me what you want." I pulled out a document from my bag. My lawyer had drafted it the night before. "It's simple," I said. "This is a release of promissory note. It states that the debt of $2.5 million is fully satisfied and forgiven. You signed this, and I own the gym 100%, free and clear. No more monthly payments." "You want the whole gym for free?" Jerry choked. "I built this place for 20 years." "And you milked it dry," I countered. "Option A, you sign the release, and I withdraw my civil lawsuit. I can't stop the IRS, but I won't testify against you unless subpoenaed. You walk away with your freedom. Option B," I continued, "we go to court. The judge sees the fraud. You lose the gym anyway. You pay my legal fees, and you definitely go to prison." Jerry looked at the document. His hands were shaking so hard he could barely hold the pen. He looked around the gym one last time. He saw the new equipment I bought. He saw the fresh paint. He realized he had lost ownership the moment he decided to lie to me. He signed. "Get out," I said, taking the paper. He walked out the door, shoulders slumped. He got into his car and drove away. I never saw him again. I looked at the document in my hand. I had just acquired $1 million asset for $0 down and $0 in debt. I had leveraged his greed against him. With the debt payment gone, the economics of the business changed overnight. Before, I needed $20,000 a month just to pay Jerry. Now, that $20,000 was pure cash flow. I used the money to lower membership prices. I launched a marketing campaign under new management, the Honest Gym. The community responded. People were tired of the old dirty gym. They loved the new energy. Within 6 months, I had 500 real members paying monthly dues. The business was generating legitimate profit. I hired a general manager to run the day-to-day operations. Now I spend my time doing what I love, looking for other distressed businesses to buy. I learned a powerful lesson from this deal. In business, financial literacy is self-defense. If I hadn't known how to read a P&L statement or spot discrepancies in tax returns, I would have been bankrupt. Jerry tried to use creative financing to trap me. I used forensic accounting to trap him. Many people are afraid of debt. They are afraid of buying businesses because they think they need millions in the bank. But the truth is, you don't need money to buy a business. You need knowledge. You need the ability to see what others miss. If you are looking to buy a business, remember my story. Trust, but verify. Audit the books, count the customers, and never sign a deal until you know exactly where the money is coming from. Because the best deals aren't found, they are negotiated. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn exactly how to structure a seller carryback deal safely, I've included a checklist in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next deal.